all of you have all been in year 12 now and have all been at the school for 6 years now. And the reason why we've asked you to attend this forum this afternoon is to share with us your experiences of how the school has changed, certainly in the way you've been involved. First question I've got is, if you could outline what you think the most significant changes have been from the old Fawkner Secondary College to the inception of the new John Fawkner College in 2010.
A significant change would be the attitudes and values of the students at the school. Everyone's more willing to learn and focused and prepared. Another aspect would be the uniforms. Everyone wears the uniform properly and are proud to represent John Fawkner College.
So, Arma, you talk about the uniform. Why is the uniform important?
It's important because people perceive you in a different way. As our uniform before, when it was Fawkner Secondary College, there was more tracksuit and casual. When we changed uniforms and progressed to John Fawkner College, it's more formal, and blazers and ties and shirts make the school perceive as a very professional working environment.
Yeah, look, the comment was made that students are much more, their attitude towards their school and their learning has changed. Asha, can you tell us why, what do you think happened within the school to bring about that change?
I think it's more that homework is set and teachers actually check the homework, which shows that they care about the students' learning, which makes the children actually care about their own learning.
I'll ask a follow-up from that, because I think that's really interesting, because I would say that in the past, teachers probably always gave you homework. But what changed? Why is it different now when they give you homework?
Because the teachers now at John Fawkner College actually make the effort to check the homework and make sure that they've done it, rather than not care and just set it for no reason.
So far we've spoken about a sense of pride about the school uniform, but has there been other significant changes that have happened or that are different between the old Fawkner Secondary College and John Fawkner College?
I really think that the significant changes, such as facilities, have really impacted our learning. And by that, I could say that, that facility, I've been in that facility, and it gives me such pride to have been in that facility.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the changes that have happened, but what we'd really like to know is, how have students been involved in the changes that have occurred?
We went through a lot of surveys and about the uniform, the name of the school and all of that, and there was a lot of meetings with other people, the interviews with the many people from India and from other schools as well, about talking about how our school has become better and how it's improved since year 7.
Sarah, tell us how students were involved in the development of the uniform. So what involvement did students have in that?
There were a lot of meetings. Mr. Napoli held a lot of meetings for students to talk about what they liked, what they didn't like, what would suit the school, what wouldn't, and he really took into consideration our opinion, and our school uniform is actually based on what the students wanted, not what the education or the Department of Education ordered for our school. It was all about the students and what they feel like they were comfortable in and were proud to wear.
Dennis and Adam, question for you two. How else were students involved in the change process?
Well, Adam and I were a part of a range of focus groups, which were really just about trying to really understand what students wanted to change around the school, the attitudes and the learning environment, and just to create a more positive and safe place to learn and make it easier for us. Because the easier and better the learning environment, the easier it is for us to learn. So one of the things that I noticed was that in the previous Fawkner Secondary, a lot of the students interrupted the learning, and which really didn't get much done in the lesson. So half of the lesson was students telling off teachers, and then the other half was learning. So now that students actually know why they're going to school and they're not going to muck around and stuff, so we actually get more learning done, and that's more productive.
One of the things that I'm really interested to hear about is how the actual learning focus within the classroom has changed. And I know that you students have commented on that in the past to me. Bianca, what are your thoughts on that?
One of the changes in the classroom is learning intentions that every teacher puts up in every classroom, and that determines what we're focusing on in that lesson. So that way when we go back to look at our books, we can see what we did on that day and what was the focus.
Does anyone want to add anything else in terms of what's changed specifically with the learning focus in the classrooms?
With the whiteboard, there's these magnets, and it says the date, the learning goal, homework and all that, and it's clearly set out by the teacher. So it's easy for the students to write down and know what they're going to achieve in the lesson, as opposed to just, having all scribble on the board and stuff.
What would you think as a student, and anyone can answer this, if a teacher now comes into a classroom and hasn't prepared the whiteboard structure and for that particular lesson, what would your views be of that? What are the expectations you have of students, of teachers in this school here?
I suppose that, if they were to just walk in and not have a plan or anything, the board's not set out, you'd think you're going to have a free lesson, or like you're going to bludge the lesson. But because you really expect the teachers to come in prepared, everything set out, students are going to do this, you're going to do this, and the lesson follows a very specific plan. But if that doesn't happen, then you'd be lost, And you expect it.
And Kazi, you would think that would be your expectation regardless of which classroom you went into.
Exactly, that's just the expectation of every teacher we have.
Yep.